Social media footage verified by multiple open-source intelligence (OSINT) outlets and analyzed by the military specialist group, the War Zone, revealed a significant intelligence breach for the United States missile defense architecture. In a barren field near the Syrian city of Suwaida, located approximately 40 kilometers north of the Jordanian border and 90 kilometers east of Israel, the kill vehicle, KV, and seeker head of a Lockheed Martin Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, THAAD, interceptor, were discovered largely intact. This recovery occurs amidst the most intensive regional missile engagement in history, Operation Epic Fury, where US and Allied batteries have been pushed to their operational limits. The Suwaida debris field is not merely a collection of shrapnel. It is a nearly preserved specimen of the most advanced hit-to-kill technology in the American arsenal. The seeker window, which houses the sophisticated mid-wave infrared MWIR imaging sensor, appeared unobstructed. Visible also were the Divert and Attitude Control System, DACS, thruster ports, the miniature rocket motors that allow the KV to maneuver in the vacuum of space and the upper atmosphere to collide with an incoming ballistic warhead. The THAAD system is designed to intercept short, medium, and intermediate-range ballistic missiles during their terminal phase of flight. Unlike traditional surface-to-air missiles, the THAAD interceptor carries no explosive warhead. It relies entirely on kinetic energy, the hit-to-kill principle, meaning it must literally hit a bullet with a bullet, at hypersonic speeds exceeding Mach 8. The recovery of an intact KV suggests a catastrophic endgame failure. Under normal engagement parameters, the interceptor's shroud should jettison, the seeker should lock on to the target's thermal signature, and the DACS should guide the KV into a terminal collision. The fact that the Suwaida specimen was found on the ground in a non-detonated, relatively uncrushed state points toward a guidance malfunction or a miss-to-ground event, where the KV failed to acquire its target and plummeted after its booster separation. The fact that the kill vehicle and shroud were recovered on the ground so close together and in relatively good condition points to a failure of some kind, but the exact circumstances remain unknown, noted Joseph Trevithick of the War Zone. The current location and custody of the Suwaida debris remain a critical black box. Suwaida is within a complex zone of Syrian government control, influenced by local Druze factions and heavily monitored by Iranian intelligence and Russian military observers. If the THAAD seeker has been transferred to Russian or Iranian specialists, the technical fallout for the United States will be generational. The shield is cracking under the weight of its own success. From a strategic realist perspective, the recovery of an intact THAAD seeker in Syria is not an isolated technical mishap. It is a tectonic shift in the balance of global power. We are witnessing the Excalibur effect in real time, the phenomenon where the overexposure and capture of high-end, low-volume Western technology leads to its rapid obsolescence. The primary risk is not that Iran or Russia will simply build their own THAAD. The risk is that they will learn exactly how to defeat it. The THAAD seeker's focal plane array, FPA, and its signal processing algorithms are the crown jewels of American electronic warfare. By analyzing the cooling systems and the infrared sensor's sensitivity, an adversary can develop tailored electronic countermeasures, ECM, and decoy flares that mimic the specific thermal signatures the THAAD is programmed to ignore. Deep intelligence exploitation of the physical design of the seeker could be used to develop new countermeasures, as well as techniques and tactics to degrade its effectiveness, warns the strategic community. Behind the curtain, this means that the $15 million bullet may soon be unable to find the target it was designed to kill. For decades, US hegemony in the Middle East has rested on the perceived invulnerability of its missile defenses. This perception allowed the US to station high-value assets and personnel in the footprint of Iranian missiles with relative confidence. That confidence is now a liability. The current conflict has exposed the cost asymmetry trap. Iran is launching saturation salvos using ballistic missiles and kamikaze drones like the Shahed series, which cost between $20,000 and $50,000. The US is responding with $15 million THAAD interceptors and $4 million Patriot PAC-3 missiles. This is not a sustainable exchange. It is a strategic bankruptcy. When the cost of defense exceeds the cost of offense by a factor of 300 to 1, the defender has already lost the war of attrition. The capture of the Suwaida seeker signalizes to the world that the American shield is finite, fallible, and potentially compromised. Realism dictates that power is a function of both capability and credibility. If the capability is being exhausted, stockpile depletion, and the credibility is being undermined, technical failure and capture, the deterrent effect of US presence evaporates. We are seeing the regional response to this decay. Gulf states, observing the destruction of ANTPY-2 radars and the depletion of interceptors, are already recalibrating their security architectures. The realization that the US cannot protect its own eyes in the sky, as seen with the damage to E-3 Sentry AWACS aircraft and radar sites, is forcing a pragmatic pivot toward de-escalation with Tehran and increased security cooperation with Beijing and Moscow. The most profound consequence of the Suwaida failure lies not in the Middle East, but in the Indo-Pacific. Every THAAD interceptor fired over Jordan is an interceptor that will not be available to defend Guam or Taiwan against the People's Liberation Army, PLA. US planners are now facing a theater trade-off. The massive expenditure of interceptors in Operation Epic Fury has hollowed out the swing capacity required to deter China. If the PLA observes that THAAD's seeker technology is being reverse-engineered in a lab in Tehran or Moscow, their confidence in their own anti-ship ballistic missile, ASBM, barrages, designed to sink US carriers, will grow exponentially. We must conclude that the era of impenetrable missile defense is ending. The Suwaida incident proves that high technology is a double-edged sword. It offers superior protection until it is tested at scale. Once tested, it becomes a target. Once captured, it becomes a textbook for the enemy. The US military-industrial complex is currently optimized for quality over quantity, but high-intensity conflict demands quality with quantity. The framework agreement to quadruple production is a step toward realism, but it is a reactive measure to a proactive crisis. Behind the curtain, the US Department of War is likely preparing for a world where THAAD is no longer a silver bullet. The focus must now shift from intercepting missiles to left-of-launch operations, destroying the missiles on the ground before they ever reach the sky. But for now, the visual evidence in Syria stands as a silent monument to the limits of American power in an age of asymmetric exhaustion. The discovery of the THAAD kill vehicle in Syria marks a pivotal moment in the 2026 Iran conflict. It is a stark reminder that in the theatre of war, even the most advanced shields can be broken, and once broken, they reveal the secrets of their making. For GlobalReport, I am your senior strategic realist analyst. We will continue to monitor the custody of the Suwaida debris and its long-term impact on the global security architecture.